Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to In the Back of the Class NBA podcast. I'm your boy, A Love.
Yo, this your boy Easy. What up? What's happening?
Yes, what's going on, folks? You folks do not believe me and Easy have already started the show. And it's already an awesome show. We just forgot to hit start broadcast. So we'll try to keep that same great performance we gave just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
Easy.
man, we killed it, man.
Oh, we did. How was your week, man? Tell the folks
my
how
week,
your week was for real.
my week was cool, man. I poured drinks for 11. Then I was taking people lives in 2K. Well, let me take that back because I kind of lost my touch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I kind of lost my touch. I went through a little losing streak lately.
Do you think it's that new patch they put in, man? You think that's got something? Because I've been kind of losing a lot lately too.
You know, I want to say that, but then it's like 2K came out and say that it's never the patch
Really?
that causes it's never the patch that causes you to lose your jump shot or touch or anything. So I don't know. It's just the fact that I've been playing the new Apex, man, and I've been kind of avoiding my 2K duties.
I got you.
So
I got you.
yeah.
I wish my wife would let me play more than one game, and I only get to play 2K. But
Dang,
yeah.
man, how was your week though, bro?
Oh man, that's pretty cool, man. Got to MC in a Black History event at my church.
Okay.
Yeah, a little program my mom puts on, helps put together. So that was pretty fun, man. And other than that, it's been a great week, man. But I'm ready to talk about this league, man, because we had some things going on, man, that it's been excited to talk about. I know you are as well.
Yeah, man.
So you ready? You ready to get started, man?
All right, man, let's get it bracking. Cracking bracking.
Once again.
I'm neutral.
All right, Easy. So, as you know, as everyone else knows, the Spurs played the Raptors this past Friday in what was DeMar DeRozan's first visit to Toronto since being dealt to the Spurs back in July. DeMar scored 23 points along with 8 assists and what was ultimately a 120-117 Raptors loss to the Spurs. Kawhi had 25 points and 6 rebounds, as well as the go-ahead bucket with 20 seconds left. Easy. My question to you is, does this tell us even more who won the trade and who did win the trade? Who do you think? Who did you think won the trade?
Well, if we're going off this season alone, Toronto won so far, but that also depends, like longevity wise, because if Kawhi leaves at the next summer, then it's like a one and done year, and which is looking like. But DeMar hasn't been no slouch either. He's been putting up 21, 6 assists, 6 rebounds a game. So I mean, then on top of that, San Antonio, you got him for some years now.
Right.
So you got him for the rest of his prime. Boy, he's 29 years old. So, you got him to 29 until, he starts to slow down. So, with him, Aldridge, and then you look at the list of injuries that the Spurs got. Next year they might come back stronger. So, San Antonio might win longevity. So,
yeah, I feel like you, man. It's you gotta look at it like all deals, short term, long term, and in the short term, definitely. Kawhi was the better end of that trade, and but long term, like you said, you got DeRozan more years within his prime. You also got a pretty solid team around him, man. But I think ultimately it could still be Kawhi in this fact. DeMar still chokes in the playoffs, man. He has that narrative that follows him, and that how the game ended on Friday just added more to that fact that in the big moments, DeMar does not come through. So I think DeMar does have to step up in the playoffs, and if he could come out and actually prove that narrative wrong, I guess you could still say that the Spurs could have still won this in the short term as well.
Well, when you think about DeMar being in San Antonio, he doesn't have to be the superstar. He could be the best player on the team, but he hasn't. He doesn't have to close out games because
of the
you
system.
have other. Yeah, because of the system, and you have other players around you who pop trust to close out games for you. And then you got LaMarcus Aldridge as your partner, so
True.
it's not on DeMar to be the best player on the team. So
Yeah. I think even the Spurs at even throughout their whole run as this dynasty, they've always for the most part, at least especially in the Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and Nanu years, had somebody that closes games. And I think
yeah.
DeMar is supposed to be that.
Well,
But
when you look at San Antonio and their history, uh, it's always somebody. It's not always dependent on one person. When you think about it, Tim Duncan, where he got like 2 Finals MVPs. You
yep.
got Tony Parker winning another one, and Kawhi winning the other one. So I mean,
But then, and keep in mind some of those series were pretty much sweeps, not really a lot of close games. But I don't know. One thing that you said. Oh, go ahead.
well,
Easy,
go
my
ahead.
bad.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, this is what I had to ask you something, and it's off topic a little bit, but go ahead and finish your thought.
I was gonna say because a lot of the biggest misconception is that the Spurs just wiped the Cavaliers out. The Cavaliers were in all of them games.
Oh, I'm specifically. I'm talking about the first time around.
The first time around, them games were close.
Really?
Them games were close. Look at the scores again. Look at the scores.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. No, because I'm like what you said. When I think back to those games, I think they're like just all blowouts. You know what I mean?
Nah, they wasn't. Really? I think all of them were really close games.
Wow. That's what's up. Now, so what I was gonna say, man, was that you said that it's looking like it's gonna be a one and done year. You don't believe that there's a chance that Kawhi goes back to the Raptors?
No.
He signs with them?
No.
Not at all.
Well, I'm not gonna say not at all, but I give it a less than likely chance that he goes to that he stays in Toronto.
You think he's going to Brooklyn?
Nah, I would love for him to go to Brooklyn. We need him in Brooklyn, but I think he more so. I think I'm gonna predict he goes to the Clippers.
Clippers,
that's my Kawhi team, the Clippers.
Y'all heard it right here. Easy's Kawhi team is the Clippers.
We need to get your wife's predictions because she's been kind of scary, right?
Marley, if you're listening. Which I believe you are. Who do you think Kawhi will re-sign with? If for the folks, if this is your first time listening, if you don't know the story, so way back when we our first show, my wife Marley Love called in and she said she predicted that Kawhi or Kyrie Irving would end up with the Lakers rejoining LeBron. At the time, we both Easy. Then we think
it was crazy. Oh, what is she talking about?
Ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, now you hear that's you hear him connected on a daily basis with the Lakers. So I don't see Marley picking a team yet. So I tell you what, let's go ahead.
She says the Raptors.
Oh, the Raptors.
She says the Raptors.
Oh, okay. Kawhi, however you spell his name, he's staying with the Raptors. Marley.
I thought you might say something like the Orlando Magic and be correct about it.
That'd be scary. That would be scary. Oh man, that's funny. So yeah, let's go ahead, Easy. Let's move on to our next topic, man.
What's up? Okay, so the Kia MVP race coming in after the All-Star break. Did you want me to read off the top 10 or the top 5?
We're gonna. So yeah, let's go ahead and set up. So
you go down?
What me Easy are gonna do is we're going to pick our basically rank the top 5 for the MVP race. If you go to Kia, what we're basing this on basically is Kia is doing a ladder. It's an MVP ladder up at NBA.com. And basically for their list, they rank every week who they have for ranking for who's on pace to win the NBA MVP. So first, Easy's gonna base Easy. That's where you got your list from, right?
Right.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Easy, go ahead and just tell the people the top 5 on the Kia list, and we'll go ahead and
Okay.
just go hard.
Kia's top 5 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if I said that right, but oh well.
We'll take it.
James Harden. James Harden, number 2. They have Paul George at number 3. Steph Curry at number 4. And Joel Embiid at number 5.
Yes.
Uh, A Love, do you agree with the top 5?
Oh,
Or what is your order?
easy. Come on, baby. We would have a show if we agreed with them. No, I don't agree with
Facts.
the top 5. So okay. So Easy, should I start at 5 and work my way up one, a little suspense type deal? Or
Yeah, make it
okay,
suspenseful.
okay, let's make it suspenseful. First of all, I'm gonna go with Kawhi at number 5. Kawhi's
Okay.
doing it. The number 4, I got Joel Embiid. Number 3, I go with James Harden, and then number 2, I have Paul George, and number 1, I have Giannis. So my biggest difference is, I guess, I have my man Paul George up at 2 over James Harden, and you know I guess because we kind of hate on Harden, but really I like
Yeah,
Paul
we
George.
do.
What Paul George is doing more than James Harden, but that's my 5. Easy. What's your 5, man?
Okay, starting from 5 up, uh, I'm going with the Joker at number 5.
What?
The
Wow.
Joker. Yes, at number 5, Denver's second place in the Hunger Games, the Western
Right.
Conference.
Right.
He's been putting in work. Number 4, I have Kawhi.
Okay.
At number 3, I have James Harden. Number 2, I have Paul George. And number 1, I have Giannis.
Yep. Yep. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Now,
so
I thought about Jokic, man, but here's the deal with Jokic. It was hard to put. I like what the Nuggets are doing, and Jokic is definitely a bit of the name that's familiar with that. Everybody's familiar with, but his numbers aren't better than Joel Embiid. So I really couldn't see taking Joel Embiid out of the top 5. Um, I mean, Embiid's numbers are 27.3 points, 13.5 rebounds, which is ridiculous. Also, 3.5 assists a game, and with 1.9 blocks. So,
well, the Joker averaged 20.7 assists and 10 boards. And his team is number 2.
what you mean 20? Say it again, Easy.
20 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds.
Right.
So I mean, there's different styles of games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my problem with putting Joel up there in the top 5 is he can't get his team past the Pacers in the East. They're still the number 4 team.
Ooh, yeah, what's up with that?
You have Tobias Harris. You have my guy, my main man on the trigger, Jimmy Buckets. You have
Yeah.
and Ben
Well,
Simmons.
we know Embiid did, he did get hurt recently. So, they're working on chemistry. That injury to him is not going to help the progress of that. But
That's true.
I like 76ers after the trade deadline a lot more than I did before. So I think they'll get it together and pass those Pacers up eventually. But like you said, man, winning is
Those
going to
Pacers
happen.
are fighting. Those Pacers are fighting. You know what I want? I want for them to stay that 3rd seed, and then give my Nets at the 6th seed.
There you go.
And then we get the easiest first round. So
hey, there you go, Easy.
Hopefully that's what happened.
Hey,
but
your boys are hooping, Easy. The Nets are hooping, man.
The Nets are hooping. I told somebody, and people laughed at me. I said the Nets are going to make the playoffs this year. And people laughed at me. And so them same people, I do not want to see you hop on the bandwagon.
If y'all go back to episode 1, you can listen to Anchor, iTunes, whatever. I was probably one of those people that laughed at Easy. So,
but there's something about this list that I find a little shaky. So let me read 6 through 10.
Okay.
They have KD at number 6. They have LeBron at number 7, Jokic at number 8, Kawhi at number 9, and Kyrie at number 10. Now, out of those last 5 names I just named, who do you think doesn't deserve to be in that top 10 spot?
Ooh, wow. That's deep, man. Because I know what you're trying to bait me into saying.
Yes.
Um,
I want you to say it. You have to say it. Let's be
I,
objective. Let's be
I,
realistic.
you know, I I guess I have to say
Come on now. Come on now.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie.
Kyrie
Oh.
Irving.
Oh my God. The shenanigans.
Team is much better when he doesn't play.
Is that real?
Yes, that's real.
That's the smallest.
He
Oh, he's going.
the team is underachieving in a weaker conference.
His team is underachieving.
His team is up, but he's the man of that team. This the same.
Wow. We're trying to earn credibility.
You are. I'm glad credibility. We're keeping the scale the same. The same test that you used on Mr. Joel Embiid, where you you taxed him for his team underachieving. Once you say the Celtics should be coming in, didn't both of us think that the Celtics would be a 1 seed, 2
That's
at
true. Yeah, that's true. But if you're going off your scale, they're having chemistry issues. They're still trying to find, get their lineup adjusted, right, and all that. The same scale that you're using Joel Embiid for.
um. So you're saying LeBron James? Let's put it out there. You're saying LeBron James?
Yes, shenanigans. Throw the shenanigans flag.
I don't know. I don't know how you can you can't go wrong either way, I guess.
All right, check this out. You can make an argument that Kyrie doesn't belong in the top 10. Okay. But he's higher than LeBron. He is higher than LeBron. Let's be realistic now. Let's be real.
How many games did both of them miss? I guess LeBron, obviously probably missed more, you think, or no?
I think he missed more because LeBron missed like a month. He missed like 17 games.
Wow. So that's interesting. What's what we need? We need a research department. Research. If this is your first time listening, we're trying to get a research department. So that's why you guys need to subscribe on YouTube, like our Facebook
all
page.
That good stuff.
Already haven't.
Twitter.
Go to our Twitter. In the back of the class.
Yeah, we out here.
Yes, please do. Man, Eezy. That was interesting, man. Though that was definitely was interesting. Who doesn't belong in that final 5?
Shenanigans. Damian Lillard. De'Aaron Fox. There's a bunch of names. Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
D'Angelo. I thought my boy D'Angelo Russell before I put in LeBron.
Really?
Yes.
I can't really argue with that though.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So shenanigans flag on that one.
That's so Eezy, as you probably heard, man. The NBA is considering changing the 19-year-old age limit, lowering it back down to 18, which will ultimately end the one and done rule for college sports, college basketball. Mm-hmm. So my question for you, Eezy, is how do you feel about that rule? Do you agree with it? Do you think it's about time to change it, or do you think they're making a mistake?
I don't know, because I'm kind of indifferent on it. I think the college system is a scam. I think them boys should be getting paid. That Duke UNC game, their average ticket was second to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So them boys should be getting paid. But when you look at the scale of NBA players to come into the league, 45 of them made it. And you have to exclude Moses Malone because he was drafted to the ABA. Mm-hmm. But 45 of them made it. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. KG, Kobe, LeBron, McGrady's in the Hall of Fame, even though I disagree with that. But Kobe, KG, LeBron will eventually make the Hall of Fame. Jermaine O'Neal, Maury Stoudemire, Dwight Howard, Rashard Rashard Lewis, Chandler, Andrew Bynum. Those are the only other ones to make the All-Star game. So what is that? I just gave you what 10 names. 10 names out of the 45 players has you could say been somewhat successful. And then I throw in Monta Ellis, who had a decent career. But other than that, there's a huge drop off. So I believe there should be some kind of system, like how the MLB has the what is that? The farming system.
Yep, farm system, the AAA,
The
AA.
AAA, yeah, AAA, AA. I believe it should be something like that because I do believe that they should be getting paid because they
Right.
do, they do bring revenue. So at least unless college is going to start paying them boys, I think the NBA should implement a system, which I think they did with the G League.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point to. First of all, it is no surprise, and this is in the news the same week that Zion gets hurt on a nationally televised overall pick. But I agree with the changing of the rule. I think that if you're coming out of high school, you want to take that risk to make a pro system. I think the system should be able to evaluate that talent, and the kids should have that opportunity. Perhaps using the baseball example for the college model, as I think that model being if you can enter the draft. If you don't like where you went into the draft, you can go to college, but you have to stay with it. I think at college for 3 years? Maybe something like that. But ultimately, I think that there's a plan for creating what you call a system, a better system. And I think you hit it dead on, the G League. As you can see, there was an announcement today that the G League, now the big showcase they have, they're moving it up so that it fits better with, I think, what was it, the draft? Anyway, the league is coordinating events within the G League because Eezy, I have a conspiracy theory about college basketball and what the effect of the NBA's creation of the system will have on it, man. I don't know if I should put it out there though, Eezy.
You don't think so?
Okay, I will.
Go ahead. Talk.
I think 2 years ago, was that 2 years ago when you had or was that last year when they had the FBI investigations in the college basketball?
Mm-hmm.
That one of your biggest faces, Rick Pitino, involved in that, and a whole bunch of big names within the college game. I think that that created an opportunity for something else to move in the place of college, becoming that system of feeding the NBA. I think the NBA is trying to make the G League exactly that. What effect that will have on college basketball, I think, because the G League now allows kids from high school to play in the G League. I think what you're going to see here in the next few years, as more money is flowing into the G League, and you might see TV deals, but you might see some of your big name college basketball coaches actually go over and coach in the G League. One dude I can see doing that is John Calipari. I can see Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino said he was done with coaching last year. Then you hear things about him wanting to get back in the NBA. Ultimately, I can see him coming back to the game in the G League. So what that will do now, all of your top high school talent in the country more than likely will sign with a G League team, and college basketball will go back to what everybody used to love college basketball for, the traditional 4-year kids, the seniors and juniors playing in the tournament, grinding it out. Well, America thinks they like that, but I think that will ultimately kill college basketball as we know it today.
The same thing about it is I like seeing the top players in college basketball. I do like seeing that, because history, tradition, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, when you think about Kareem at UCLA, you think about Jordan in Carolina, you think of tradition, history, and then you get to see them. I like seeing, the top players in college basketball, but I think they should be getting paid. And that's my biggest thing because they bring in revenue.
It's interesting that I see. I don't really. When we talk like Kareem, naturally my mind goes to NBA, his NBA legacy, right?
Right.
And Jordan especially, because
Yeah.
Jordan's
But
college career is almost like a forgotten in some cases. People don't even remember the details of that.
that's true.
So I think
But
tradition might save it, but in some cases, I think it could be the possibility that tradition is overrated. But I don't know.
But when you think about some of the when you think about one of the biggest times of the year, March Madness,
Yeah.
you want to see the best players compete against each other. Best high school. You know what I'm saying? Compete against each other. But I think they should be getting paid. Um, I had a great point, but I lost it. There
Oh
might be
no!
there might be old age.
No! What?
I think our old age is catching up.
That's
But
terrible. That makes me feel so scared because it be happening to me all the time lately,
oh
man.
my God, yeah, it was a great one too, man. It was like a haymaker. It was like one of them smack URL battle haymakers with the Don DeMarcos popping off and stuff. But
Yeah, I know. We need to get that sound effect. That'd be
we're
pretty
gonna get the soundboard. We're gonna be popping in a minute.
in a
But
minute. We need that. That's why I
yeah,
need to
we growing.
like and follow us. But
Oh, check this out, because we don't have to ask them, because you're going to eventually. I'm talking nice tonight. It's going to come. We're gonna be out here in these streets, and
oh
y'all
man,
gonna see us out here.
be on the lookout. Be on the lookout.
Yes.
So now Easy, you ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah,
Easy.
let's go ahead and move on to the next one, man. So
Let's
let me
do
let
it.
me. So after losing to the Houston Rockets without James Harden, the question that I have for my boy A Love is, do you think Houston or any other team has a chance of knocking off Golden State in the Western Conference? Well, who do you see representing the Western Conference outside Golden State in the
Huh.
finals?
If not Golden State, who do I see coming out the West?
Hmm.
Uh, I think Easy. It's between two teams, man. Um, the two teams that I have in mind are obviously the Rockets and OKC.
Yeah.
For me, I don't like either. I think we both agreed the Warriors are coming out
Oh,
the
yeah.
but
Duh.
it would
That's
be
like a.
I look at these two teams. Both of them actually lead the league in isolation plays. And the Rockets just blow the OKC out the water at number one, but still OKC is number two. Now with everybody getting healthy, maybe that evens out a little bit, but still, and yet when you get into playoff basketball, you can't live off of isolation basketball. You have to have something else. And in
Mhm.
that regard, I think it comes down to depth. And I give it to Houston. If they take away their isolation basketball, I think Houston is deep enough to have other options to go to, as opposed to OKC, they're going to depend on some guys who are pretty shaky, and also depending on how they call it in the playoffs with Harden, man, they're not that defense might come back down to earth. So I'm gonna go with the Rockets, man. But what about you? Who's your squad?
Well, I agree. I mean, of course, we agree. It was between OKC and Houston. But let me throw in a dark horse. Let me throw in two dark horses.
Oh,
Utah, who matches up with them,
yeah,
who matches up with them pretty well, and they're defensively good.
yes,
And
yeah.
Portland, a high scoring team
Hmm.
who can beat Golden State on any given night. So those are the two teams I want to throw as a dark horse. Even though Golden State will blow them out, 7-game series. But back to OKC and Houston, I have to disagree with you as far as Houston and Golden State, between Houston and Oklahoma, because being shaken in the playoffs, that's James Harden's resume.
Oh,
That's James Harden's life.
yes, true.
And
I
even
would
though I
never
disagree,
argue with anybody sharding on James Harden.
and the narrative, and that's kind of what people like to give the narrative on Chris Paul, but I think Chris Paul makes them better than what people want to give him credit
Oh
for.
yeah, definitely. Saw it last year.
But when you look at Oklahoma, defensively, they match up with them.
Mm.
And I believe, Roberson comes back healthy. That's another defensive player. Paul George might win Defensive Player of the Year. Russell Westbrook been playing great defense.
Yep.
Steven Adams, great
Yeah.
defensive presence.
Adams had
Jeremy.
all around great year.
And one thing that Oklahoma is athletic.
Yes.
That's a very athletic team. That's a lot of high flyers, fast paced team. So I think defensively and athletically, and then in the playoffs, they call it a little tougher. That's why I don't think Houston can get the job done against Golden State. All them fouls.
I feel like that too, Eezy. That they do call it tougher. They're supposed to call it tougher.
Yeah.
But with James Harden, man, it seems like you never know until Game 7 when refs will always swallow their whistles in Game 7. I feel like, and that's the only time where you see, for sure that James is not going to get those calls.
If you really want to stop James Harden, just play him in an elimination game. I mean,
just drop the first 3 boys. Not even
just play him in an elimination game. He's gonna lose those. But
Easy to that point, man. Let's be honest, and I agree with you. Chris Paul is underrated postseason performer. I think what inhibits Paul is his injury history. But those other 3 guys, the other 3 big names within this this comparison, Paul George, like you said, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, like you said, all 3 of those guys have a something on them where they cannot close the deal in the big games in the postseason.
That's true.
So
I agree.
3 of them have that narrative, which makes me, really shaky on believing in OKC. Because 2 weeks ago you asked me, "Hey, OKC, man, definitely." But as I've seen Houston get everybody healthy and when they have everybody on the court, I'm like, oh man.
Well, then I mean, you see how James Harden is playing. Yeah. Another thing that happens to him in the playoffs is fatigue.
Yes.
He always screams. There's always the fatigue flag that gets thrown up.
Good point. But,
Oklahoma, I just think Oklahoma defensively match up better with them. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. I believe, and then when Roberson comes back, you can switch people on KD. You can find and they're just so athletic that with the right defense, they can get them boys in Golden State some trouble.
Yep. And let's not forget about the rest of the squads in the West. The West is going to be a crazy playoffs, man.
It's going to be an entertaining playoffs.
Be fun to watch. I'm hyped about it. How many more months we got to the playoffs, man? We need to start a movement to condense the league, man. I want less of
Really?
I want to get to the nitty gritty. We talk all this all the time. Eezy. The NBA is the sport where what happens off the court and what has happened in the last 20 years is more talked about than what is happening in the moment in the season for the current week. Like how many games? This show, for instance, how many games have we talked about really that happened this week since last show? 1.
Just 1, yeah. But I think I don't know. You're like 80 because you shorten the regular season. That means that's just a regular. We're shortening the games that we get to watch.
So. I want to talk about the legacies. I want them already to be defined. So you get there quicker when you have players that or seasons that go by fast. So there's 2 movements that we're supporting. I'm supporting: condensing the league and then getting the team to Seattle. So
okay. I like the 82 games, man. Let's keep it. I'd rather keep it 82, man. Because think about it. Once the NBA season ends, what are we watching?
Oh, easy. I also have an idea to pitch to you, brother, that we will do offline. So let's go ahead and I'll be on the lookout. Hey, Love and Eezy are cooking again.
Oh, okay. I got my point back.
Oh, hey, let's say
I
this.
just want to throw that out. But about the high school,
Yo,
I'm sorry to bring it back,
no, so,
old memory, but the NBA and the colleges all doing this to undercut my man, the Archie Manning of the NBA, LeVar Ball. Now we can move on.
state your platform, Easy. State your
Yes,
man.
yes. They're undercutting my man, LeVar Ball and the JBA.
Oh man, wow. All right, so here we go. This right here is a favorite segment of like I think of both of ours really.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
every once in a while we throw it in. We like to take a legend. We call it legend look back. Um, and we look at a legend from the past and we basically ask the question, are they over or underrated? Or it could be just at the right spot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Today we look to, Easy. You want to introduce this one, man?
You want me to introduce it?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
if yeah, it's up to you. It's just
All
a behind the scenes um thing for you guys. My note computer just died, so all my
right.
Larry Bird facts are on that computer. So so Easy, if you could.
Okay, so the legend that we're looking at today is the White Hype, the Great White Hope, Larry Joe Bird. Career averages, he averaged 24 points, 6 assists, 10 rebounds. He's the three-time MVP, three in a row. He's a three-time champ, rookie of the year. He was the first to hit the 50-40-90, and he did it twice. Two-time Finals MVP, and I want to say 12-time All-Star. Larry Joe Bird out of French Lick, Indiana. A Love, do you think my guy Larry Bird is overrated or underrated? Legend look back.
Larry Bird. Now, Easy. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. Last episode, I think what kind of got us gives the idea to do this legend look back was because I said some blasphemous stuff about Larry Bird. I started to believe the narrative that Larry Bird was overrated. I said something crazy,
Mm.
but in doing it today,
You want to go back on? You want to say what those statements were?
the statement it was something along the lines of I don't know. Basically, I was down playing Larry Bird's ability. Basically, hinting that he's overrated. But like a great man of thought that I am, I did some research.
All right.
Larry Bird playing the 13th season for the Boston Celtics, 3 rings, multiple MVPs. Actually, the first non-center to win consecutive MVPs,
Three straight.
3 straight. Great dude. But what I thought about Larry Bird, and this is the biggest revelation I had, is that, of course, Larry Bird is definitely not overrated. In fact, if we're basing it off of what a lot of these younger troll fans are saying about Larry Bird, and I hate to say it, man, I feel like a large fan base of actually I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna say LeBron fans that are just irate.
Oh yeah, call them out.
I'm gonna call them. I like to think I'm an objective LeBron fan, but some of them just they like downplay Larry Bird. But Larry Bird, man, this dude was an all around better player in every aspect except for passing than Magic Johnson. That's what the popular belief was. So if you think that Magic Johnson is top 5, which I don't think so, but if you have Magic Johnson in your top 5, you have to have Larry Bird because he has the. If you think what made Jordan great, Jordan. If you think Jordan had the markability of Magic Johnson and the tough and grittiness and clutchness of Larry Bird, that's why Jordan could be considered the GOAT. But on court, where you got the on court side, Larry Bird, just that
Well,
marketability.
I think the reason why people put Magic over Bird is Magic won twice on against to Larry Bird's 1 when they went head to head. You know,
Uh-huh.
Magic does is a 5-time champ.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I think Magic Johnson overall was the more likable person. And Magic played 1 through 5. But when I talk about Magic, I'm just saying why people would say that. But if you're asking me, I think Larry Bird is underrated. Uh, I'm not gonna say he's highly underrated because people do put respect on his name, except for these young punks of now today. You know, these
We
young
love the young
punks.
punks too, because young punks also like and subscribe. So young punks, you are welcome here too.
But yeah, they like the disrespect Larry Bird gets from the younger generation. He's definitely underrated. Now I'm gonna give you some names: um, James Harden, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jokic, Nikolai Jokic, Luka Doncic, Dirk, Tim Duncan, Carl Anthony Towns, Kyle Lowry, DeMarcus Cousins, Joe Ingles. Now, you know I name all those names?
No
Because
sir.
when you look at them play, all of them look very slow and unathletic. So to think that Larry Bird wouldn't put up his numbers or even greater numbers, which I believe he would, in today's game is crazy to me. In this 3-point era, the spacing, the less physicality, and you let Larry Bird, who's probably one of the best all-around scorers of all time, just do his thing.
A good defender, actually almost a borderline great defender. If not, you can
Yeah.
say great defender. I mean, how many defensive player of the year awards has he won? I think it was
No, he never
two.
won defensive player, but I think he was a three-time,
Oh, I'm sorry.
two-time, three-time second-time defensive player,
He
defensive
was
team.
yeah, defensive team.
Yeah,
So
he was
I
on
think it
the.
was he made the first team, I do believe, 3 times.
It was
Research
second,
department,
second
second
team.
team. Okay, research
Yeah, it was
department.
second. Research department. Let's
Let's
get
go.
on it. But
Um,
I mean, when you talk about clutch shots, cockiness, trash talkers,
yeah,
I
uh,
mean, his career high in Atlanta, he put up 60. The
60.
other team was rooting for him. It was going crazy.
I, so easy. You make a great point about that, Larry Bird, with these rules today. But you think could he still guard in open space like that with the quickness of the players? You think he can still do that? Because a lot of his defense greatness came with the ability to be physical on the defensive side. You think he could still guard
No,
space?
but
That
no,
might
but who's playing defense nowadays anyway?
truth, fact, a fact.
I
Eh,
mean,
uh,
these NBA games are looking like, I mean,
oh,
NBA Jam games.
you
Like,
ain't lying. You ain't lying.
yeah,
That's why I do not feel bad for scoring 100 points with my player on 2K now. Because, yeah, you can have it. Hey, easy. Larry Bird, man. Did did you think that Larry Bird? Hold up, I lost my thought again. Easy, there you go. That old age thing, man. I had a great point, but
you had a great point.
great point. I lost it. I was gonna. Oh my goodness, it was about Larry Bird, of course. Larry Bird.
Were you going to talk about his first finals appearance?
No, I was going to talk about. All right, let's just go ahead and move on. What about his first
Well,
finals appearance?
to me, I think he got cheated out of a Finals MVP. They gave it to Cedric Maxwell.
Don't hate on Big Sid.
Uh, I'm not hating on Big Set, but Cedric Maxwell scored. Well, I think he averaged 17 and 9 for that series. But Larry Bird averaged 15, 15, 7 assists and 2 steals. So I think Larry got cheated out of that first finals. But when you go back and you hear stories of Larry Bird,
Yeah,
and they just talk about his overall cockiness, his
yeah.
arrogance, and how sure he was of his talent. One
Call-
time, he said one game he said he was going to play with his left hand for the first 3 quarters. For the first 3 quarters, playing with just his left hand, outside jump shots, he scored 22 points,
wow.
and he had 47 for the whole game.
This is a
So
professional NBA game, right?
professional NBA game, yes, against the Portland Trailblazers. And then to think that he wouldn't go against athletic players, you know, He was torching Rodman. He's torching Dr. J. He was taunting Dr. J. They said throughout the whole game he was screaming out two numbers: the number of points he had and the number of points Dr. J had. You know what that ended up in?
What was that?
Dr. J firing off on Larry Bird.
Old school NBA. Hey,
you remember the two-piece?
It's what you're not entertained. Oh my goodness. Hey, but you made me remember my point. My point I was gonna make earlier is that mental aspect. It's like we have to make a scale on how are we gonna measure greatest of all time, okay? Because a lot of what people say makes Jordan great was that mental aspect of his game. That I'm gonna kill you and whatever I go against you at. Larry Bird had that. Larry Bird was obsessive about that. We see that with someone like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. People are lucky that this is not an NFL podcast because Tom Brady.
What about him?
Come on, he's a human asterisk. Let me say it. He's a human asterisk. Tom Brady, all of his accomplishments are tarnished to me. So
I will put this out there. I root against the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. Shout out Bob Kraft. I like Bob Kraft. You gotta help. Hey,
it's been a bad week for the Roberts.
Hey, good. But Tom Brady, you have to say is the greatest of all time. Eezy, a quarterback. You can't say that about the walking asterisk.
Joe Cool. I'm still going Joe Cool. Tarnish. No, matter of fact, let me take that back. My greatest quarterback of all time is Kurt the GOAT Warner. Yes, Kurt the GOAT Warner. Man, I want Kurt Warner.
You know what's funny, Eezy, is that in our ADD conversation or ADD attention span, we veer off topic, and this is ironic that we do this on talking about Larry Bird, because perhaps this is how Larry Bird became underrated, because he looks unathletic. He's boring. He's Larry Boring Bird, unless you got to watch those games in the moment live.
Yeah,
they say there was no better show, but. Looking back in history, you get to Larry Bird's page. If you're just looking at pictures, you're gonna flip past. And we just did that on Larry Bird's Legend Look Back.
That is true, but
what a disgrace.
But back to Larry, man, to the competitive fire that he had, man. You don't see that today. You don't see that today, and you see people, with these young boys, they're trading jerseys with each other. Larry Bird would have never traded jerseys with Magic Johnson in the heat of their prime.
Eezy, every show, you grow more and more into get off my porch guy.
I'm so get off my porch. I'm so get off my porch. Get off my line. No.
Oh my goodness. Well, look. So anyway, folks, looks like we both agree that Larry Bird is definitely not overrated. So Eezy thinks he's you think he's underrated, right? And
yeah, he's underrated. Underrated.
We both agree the younger generation does underrate him. So no, that was fun. Join us. We'll let y'all know. We'll try to let y'all know ahead of time when we cover our next.
We're gonna start putting that out there. Putting it out there. Underrated, overrated, the legends that we're gonna talk about, why we feel each person is what they are. So
and shoot us some names too that you might want to see us talk about too. So we do take suggestions. Eezy, look, man, we've been on here. We had a great show, man. We've been on here long enough. We gave enough information to the people. Let's see. Let's talk about what you gonna look for this week, Eezy.
I'm gonna look for this week. I just want to see. I'm interested in seeing what happens in this final playoff spot in the West. You have the Clippers who are trying to tank. You have the Kings who are trying to make the playoffs. Then you have the Lakers who knows? It seems like it's a mutiny. It seems like there's a lot of problems. Will the drama, will the Lakers' drama exceed the Kings' youth? That's what I want to see. Or will the Clippers accidentally tank their way into the playoffs?
Ooh, true. Look, I'm telling y'all, ESPN, y'all need to get a hold of this man. He's coming up with storylines every day. Check him out.
Yes, yes. Isaiah Thomas voice. You will have to bring the Brinks truck. Let's go.
I'm there. I'm there.
I'm lying. ESPN can get me for NBA 2K20 and a bag of Skittles.
Just pay me in VCs for the next 2K. That'd be cool. But for what I'm gonna look for this week, Eezy. Actually, of course, I'm gonna be watching this Laker drama going on a little bit closely because I'm prepping myself with this reality that LeBron might not be in the playoffs this year. I don't know how I'm really gonna deal. But as long as we got this show, I have an obligation to watch. So I'm gonna try to watch. But outside of NBA, man, I'm also going to be watching local sports store is unfortunately going out of business in the area, and everything is discounted prices, but they're going to be at the counter says she's going to be they're going to be lowering prices as stuff gets sold. So I'm going to be watching for the inventory get lower to get more of those discounts. So other than that, man, I just going to be looking forward to our next show. Eezy, go ahead.
What up? Hey man, me and my boy A-Love back in the day, two class clowns tearing up the classes. Now we two adults speaking our opinions on the news and rumors on the NBA. This is your boy Eezy.
This your boy A-Love.
This is In the Back of the Class NBA podcast. Peace. Holla. Love. One.